In a quiet corner of Moscow in 1821, a boy was born who would one day change the way we see the human soul. His name was Fyodor Mikhailovich Dostoyevsky. Who was exactly Dostoevsky? Fyodor Mikhailovich Dostoyevsky was a Russian novelist and short story writer, born November 11, 1821, in Moscow and passing away on February 9, 1881, in St. Petersburg. He became one of the greatest novelists in Russian and world literature. His early life. Fyodor was born in a hospital for the poor in Moscow. His father, a strict and often harsh doctor, worked long hours while his mother, from a merchant family, did her best to keep their small household together. Life was tough. The family lived in tiny crowded rooms, and the atmosphere at home was tense. When Fyodor was still a boy, tragedy happened. His mother died, leaving him and his siblings under the care of their demanding father. In 1837, at the age of 16, Fyodor and his brother Mikhail moved to St. Petersburg. He attended a boarding school and later enrolled in the military engineering school, but military life never felt right to him. He would later describe those years as a hard labor, not because of the drills or studies, but because his mind was elsewhere. He spent every spare moment reading Shakespeare, Balzac, Hugo, and, of course, Russian writers like Pushkin and Gogol. By 1843, he had graduated and started working in the engineering corps. But after only 6 months, Dostoevsky walked away from that life to follow his true passion, literature. The Road to Siberia. In 1849, Dostoevsky joined the Petrashevsky Circle, a group of young intellectuals dreaming of a better Russia. But those dreams came at cost. He was arrested, accused of spreading banned ideas, and sentenced to death. One cold December morning, he stood in front of a firing squad, convinced he had only moments left to live. Then, at the very last second, his life was spared. The Tsar. He had commuted his sentence to 4 years of hard labor in Siberia, followed by years of military service. Siberia changed him, living among criminals in brutal conditions. Dostoevsky found faith. He abounded radical ideas and embraced Russian Orthodox Christianity. But it was there too that he suffered his first epileptic seizures, a condition that would follow him for the rest of his life. His art soon shone through his masterpieces like Notes from the Underground, 1864, Crime and Punishment, 1866, The Idiot, 1869, The Possessed, 1872, and The Brothers Karamazov, 1880. But his life was never easy. In the 1860s, Dostoevsky lost both his first wife and his brother, and fell into deep debt and developed a gambling addiction. A second chance for some happiness in his life? Well, yes. In 1867, Dostoevsky married Anna. She became his partner, his support, and the person who helped him manage his finances and rebuild his life. They had children together, shared both hardship and joy, and stayed devoted to one another until his legacy. By the late 1870s, Dostoevsky was no longer just a novelist. He had become a moral and spiritual voice for Russia. He lived through poverty, prison, exile, illnesses, and despair. And yet, from all that suffering, he created stories that still speak to us today. Nearly 2 centuries later, his questions remain: why do we suffer? Can we find redemption? And what does it truly mean to be a human? If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments which people you would like me to cover next. Thank you.